Got a little elevator music going on right now. Yo, whistling in the background. The normal. Not the normal. Well, sorry. My apartment has been apartment's cool for the most part. It's just that the building that I'm in, to make sure they got the right building, they hit both buildings. The other buildings are okay. Their internet is okay. My internet was one mistake. It's only 2 buildings that's internet was affected, and they're close by each other. The other buildings wouldn't even touch it. So we haven't had internet for the last 2 days because they said it was we trying to fix it. So it is what it is. But Wasabi fam, there's been a lot of phenomena that's been going on. A lot of strange activity with skies and stuff. It's just been strange. All right, so let's kick this off real quick. Hoping not to be for you too long. Like this, that way. Oh my goodness. I can't do this. The music is about to make it jump through the whole tunnel. I don't know. It's kind of
Other Psalms.
Revelations. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image, and receive his mark into his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Elohim, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever. And they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Satan cast into the lake of fire. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and they shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. The great white throne. And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before Elohim, and the books were open, and another book was open, which was in the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged, every man according to their works, in death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death, and whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. But I will tell you what will happen to cowards and to everyone who is unfaithful or dirty-minded or who murders or is sexually immoral or uses witchcraft or worships idols or tell lies. They will be thrown into that lake of fire and burning sulfur. This is the second death.
Your haters, not your haters, they're your fruit testers. Your haters, not your haters, they're your fruit testers. Hey, Yahuwah says we your haters, not your haters, they're your fruit testers. Multitude like your haters, not your haters, they're your fruit.
Beats by other songs.
Truth colors, truth colors, truth colors, truth colors, truth colors, truth colors. Ayy, when you learn the truth, it will set you free. Many are held captive, stolen identity. But let me just shoot the breeze, release you from Satan's squeeze. He's all like enemies, no matter the color you see. That truth frame. Truth colors, truth colors, truth colors, truth colors, truth colors, yeah, truth colors.
All right. Salute to everyone watching by Truth Colors, Yasiyahu Congo Facebook page. Salute to everyone watching by Yasiyahu Facebook page. Salute to everyone watching by It's David King Facebook page. Salute to everyone watching by Truth Colors YouTube channel. Salute to everyone watching by David King, King David YouTube channel. Salute to everyone watching by We Are Bantu, Periscope TV, or Bantu Ukulele Twitter account. Salute to Goshen. Salute to Micah, to Michaela and Micah. Hey, y'all's will be done on earth as it is in heaven. This is another session of Truth Colors. My name is King. It's King David. We're just going to talk a bit about what is happening right now. I'm seeing distress of nations take places over the globe, but this is the news that doesn't really make the news. Don't make the front page. Don't make stuff that cause you to be alarmed. You know, they want to make sure everything stays happy, stays in a nice general population type setting. Like, oh, everything is wonderful, it's great. You know, like nothing is really taking place. You know what I'm saying? They don't want people to start opening their eyes like, wait a minute, what? Why is the sun red? Think about it. If the news went out there and captured that and put it on the news, it would be like people have to start digging into it. Like, why is the sun turning red? It's not the first red sun, but it doesn't happen all the time. So it means it's a spectacular, you know, situation when it does happen. It's happening. Frank Sinatra, trip to the moon. I don't even know what it's just one of those things, right? About. All right, so look. Oh, my head. All right, it's right now 111 degrees outside. 111. So we in triple digit weather right now. So for those who got like 80s and 90s, you ain't got no good, right? Our weather is pouring out. Pouring out. Sun is shining, beaming everywhere. I'm almost getting home. All right, so we need to not only just talk to our family, talk to the people around us. Right now, we're in the midst of where we're headed to the land. Majority of us is headed to the land. You'd be surprised of how many people right now in Goshen is headed to the land as I'm speaking. Right? Their plans is already to be in the land pretty soon. People are cashing out their 4Ks and they are getting ready to relocate in the land. I just want to put it out like this: like by February of so-called there next year, you don't really want it. By February 2022, you want to be up already located somewhere else, not in the land of your captivity. You want to be out of your land of your captivity. There is so much taking place right now at this very moment. So think about that probably like 6 months from now. What is going on? You want to play with that? And my people don't even know what's going on. So they continue not know what's going on. But we telling you what's going on, you know. That man in the background has a lot to do with what's going on. We just had let me show you. Fig tree just fell down. Just fell down and start burning. And start burning in the land. Now there's some scriptures dealing with the fig. So, and thanks to Charles for this one, because I guess he was on his way back to his house, whatnot. And like this information, he get a lot of stuff, information that comes from the land. So I'm like the first ones he shares it with. So as soon as he get it, he like, hey, King, look at this. And I'd be like, all right. So it's only 30 seconds. But it is definitely worth something to see. Look.
What
Look, I don't think I uploaded the other one. It's like I think it shows one where it literally shows where the fig literally broke off and then it just caught on fire. So it's some strange stuff that is taking place all over the world. And you know what the world sees as? Nothing. They're just like, oh, you know, they're just in their little lane. You know what I'm saying? We have some more extreme weather that is taking place all over the globe right now. But again, no one is talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Not on a large, scale. Why? Because they don't want people to be scared. They want people to know that you know something's happening. They want to keep you in the dark as much as possible. Look at this. Montana is burning. Look at this. This is today.
Wow. Look at this. 94% of people believe company culture is important to an organization's success.
Okay. Look at that. Look at that. All right, so let me see. What is the scripture on that? There will be floods in diverse places, right? In different places. There'll be floods in diverse places, in different places. Look, it says these are the beginning of sorrow, witnessing to all the nations. So these things that we're seeing, what are they called? Witnesses. Then he told them, nation will rise against nation. Now, what was it? Now, let me look at y'all. You're going to get into the meat of this. Disciples asked a question. It said, all right, what will be the sign of your coming? What will be the sign of your coming? And what will be the end of the end of the Gentile world? Meaning when the restoration of our kingdom is going to come. Now, Messiah says that to him who overcomes all his authority, he is passing down to him. Right? So it's speaking of, we'll just go into it. So let's go into all right. All right. Messiah has to see to it that you are not deceived. For many will come in my name, claiming I am he. And the time is near. Do not follow them. When you hear wars and rebellions, do not get armed. These things must happen first. End is not imminent. Means it's not sure. Okay, let's go. It's not a short end yet. Watch. It's a process. Witnessing to all nations. So this is the time when we are now being witness to all nations with what? The gospel. Then he told them, nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. There will be great earthquakes, famines, and pestilences in various places, along with fearful sights and great signs from heaven. But it's what? The red sun, moons, different things. Watch this. But before all this, before these things, before the great earthquakes, before the famine, before the pestilences, before the various places, along with fearful sights and great signs from heaven, but before all this, they will seize you and persecute you on account of my name. They will deliver you to the synagogues and prisons, and they will bring you before kings and governors. Now, it says, before these things, earthquakes, famines, pestilences, various places, along with fearful sights and great signs from heaven. Before these things happen, you will be persecuted on account of his name. They will deliver you to the synagogues and prisons. Now, what would be a synagogue? Right here. Should be a synagogue. Now, what would be a prison? See, when we think of prison, we think of prison now. Watch this. This is what we think of prison. Bars. Ooh. They'll deliver you to the prisons. Nah, he's not talking about this. He's talking about this. This was the prison. Why? Because in the medieval times, medieval church, medieval prisons. Here we go. It's the same, right? It's like no damn change, right? Like everything like the same. Like nothing really changed. The same look, same outfit, same everything. Just so it's prison all over again, right? It's just like, so we've been going to prison this whole time. I remember 2018, Father was like, son, don't call church no more. Call it prison. Right? 2018 or 2019, I got the video. So this right here is prison. Now, what was happening in the prison? Remember, we said you would be what? Tormented, right? So we got what? Judah's chair. Where does this come from? Roman church. Ooh, shoot. The 6 cruelest torture methods used by the medieval what? Medieval what? Oh my, look back. The 6 cruelest torture methods used by the medieval Catholic Church. Let's go back to that scripture again. Then he told them, nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be great earthquakes, famines, and pestilences in various places, along with fearful sights and great signs from heaven. But before all this, they will seize you and persecute you on account of my name. They will deliver you to the synagogues and prisons, and they will bring you before kings and governors. This will be your opportunity to serve as witnesses. So make up your mind not to worry beforehand how to defend yourselves, but I will give you speech and wisdom that none of your adversaries will be able to resist or contradict. So watch this. So as many of our people are now going to be done like this, you're going to have a witness that comes out of your mouth because you are refusing to say the name of Jesus. They're refusing to say a wrong name of the Messiah. Remember, he said you're going to be tortured on account of his name. You know his name, and they're trying to get you to say another name outside of his name. So you can go through this. You're going to be tortured for his name's sake. So that means if you're being tortured for his name's sake, that means the great falling away has already taken place. Because the name that was calling on this that caused them to be literally tortured, they was refusing to say it. So therefore, they was choosing death. They chose death than to try to save their lives from torture. Period. The ropes were attached to the victim's wrists and ankles and tied and pulled in opposite directions, stretching the tortured until his bones dislocated. His skin was torn and his limbs were severed, causing the person to die of hemorrhage. Often the limbs were even pulled out by the device. At the end of the Middle Ages, the table gained a variant with iron spines that penetrated the victim's back. All this so that they would confess their crimes. What was their crimes? Of believing in the Messiah. It would not say, look at the knee splitter. What in the world? Look at all these dangerous devices that was used. Wheel of torture. Wheel of fortune, right? Wheel of torture. Wheel of fortune got a whole nother name now, got a whole nother meaning. Look at it, it's a whole wheel. Spin the wheel. But the price is right. Spin it. I don't even want to see another wheel now. This is crazy. The wheel torture is known for always killing the victim very slowly, attached to a mechanism by feet and hands, with the abdomen facing upwards. The defendant was spun several times, with the aggravation that below the wheel a fire was lit. In other words, the victim was roasted little by little. Sometimes instead of the embers, spears were placed under the instrument so that the victim would be mutilated each time the wheel was turned. Some reports show that on some occasions the victim was placed face to face with the fire, which caused severe burns. Sometimes the victim's limbs were put in the wheel and had their arms and legs hit by the torturers with large metal hammers. After that, they were hung steel wheel in a public square so that the animals could feed on the living victims. Now listen to that part. So that the animals could feed on the living victims. Now, that brings me to the fourth horseman. I told you the fourth horseman has been here for a while. People like, what are you talking about? Yes. Now, look at the fourth horseman. What comes with the fourth horseman? Look what they just said. The fourth horseman is not coming. The fourth horseman is coming to an end. All right, let's go. Remember, it said the animals feed. Okay. There it is. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and its rider's name was Death, and Hades followed him. And they were given authority over a fourth of the earth to kill with sword, and with famine, and with pestilence, and by wild beasts of the earth. Revelations 6:8. Still on the wheel in a public square so that the animals could feed on the living victims. So the fourth horseman to me. When was this called again? The medieval times. Medieval what? Roman Catholic Church. So we've been in this for a while. So that means nation has already risen against nation. Kingdom has already risen against kingdom. There have always been great earthquakes, famines, pestilences, obviously, because all this stuff comes in on what? The fourth horseman. Look, pale horse and Death and Hades followed him, and they were given authority over the fourth of the earth to kill with sword and with famine. And what's that? Pestilence. Let's go back to it again. Earthquakes, famines, and pestilences. Fourth horsemen in various places, along with fearful sights and great signs from heaven. So these signs have been going on for a while now. But before all this, they will seize you. So before these things, so before the nations and all this stuff takes place, guess what's going to happen to you? You're going to be seized and persecuted on account of the true Messiah's name. And they will what? Deliver you to the synagogues, i.e., right here, Catholic Church, in prisons. I've been anointed what? Has anointed me to do what? To preach the good news. What? The Spirit of Yah is upon me. The Spirit of El Shaddai is upon me because He has anointed me to preach the good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives and freedom to the prisoners. It will seize you and persecute you. On account of my name, they will deliver you to synagogues and prisons to proclaim liberty to the captives and freedom to the prisoners. Meaning you have already been put into prison at this time. Meaning these things we're seeing now, all these things taking place. Why? Because this is already taking place. We're not waiting for this to happen. It has already happened. For I will give you speech and wisdom that none of your adversaries will be able to resist or contradict. Meaning the Spirit will speak through you. You will be betrayed even by parents and brothers and relatives and friends, and some of you will be put to death. Meaning what? You're about to be put on the ship, right? And you will be hated by everyone because of my name. Can we see that right now? Segregation. Segregation. 1950s. Oh my goodness. Oh, my Malcolm X. That looks definitely like segregation. Be like you being hated. Let's see. Go back to Africa, niggers. Let's see. Go back to Africa. Oh, okay. Oh, we don't want that. Let's do 1950s. 1950s. Oh. Understanding Jim Crow. Down with lynching in Georgia. Here we come. So they're being hanged at this time. It's not like they're being hated. Completely hated. All the time for his name's sake. You are being hated. Civil rights movement, if you gotta tell people that your life matters, that's because you are hated. You are the most hated person on the face of this earth. If you have to say that your life matters at this time, your life is included in mattering with other humans, you are definitely hated. What about slaves were hated? Oh, look at their backs. That don't look like love to me. Man, it seems like some scripture that we're waiting to take place have already been taking place, and it's still yet taking place at this very time. But the church always said these things are still happening. It's still yet to happen. It's still to come. Viewpoint, look at this. From Sudan. I told you. Sudan, the S, it was S-E-S. Sudan is actually S-O, which means land of, and the U-D-A literally means land of Judah. S-O, land of, the U-D-A is Judah. Land of Judah. Sudan. Sudan, where black people are called slaves. Land of Judah. Here's an Arab. Remember? So you will be carried to their mosques. Here's the mosque. The mosque will be with them. Muslim mosque. See, Muslim mosque. Because it means what? He is showing you that you are being conquered. You have been conquered by these same exact things. Now, what are these things that Daniel was seeing coming upon the earth that was mighty and terrible? It was saying partly armed and partly clay, taking over his feet. And the Father is going to destroy the nations that have done these things to his people. He's going to smash them like a nice little tiny little bug that they are. It will be the partly iron and partly clay that will have done these things to the Father's people. They will torture you, rape you, and kill you for not confessing Allah or not confessing the name JC. Oh yeah. That's why Saudi Arabia right now have a whole fit full of, what's this? Locusts. Locusts in Saudi Arabia. Yep. Oh yeah. Here it is. 30. And they're eating all the green stuff, which is their vegetation, which is their crops. That's a plague. The plagues of Egypt. Now, why in the world would these plagues be hidden in these various areas? The word says if anyone adds to or takes away from his book, then the diseases and the plagues in this book will become theirs. So if we're seeing that these plagues, same places described in this book, hidden in these various areas, that means they would have to add it in their doctrine from the Father's word or even taken away. The Father told me that he allowed men to take some things out to make the whole book a parable. It still comes with a punishment, though. Right? Okay. So stuff is just too funny, right? Father always wins. I don't know why people try to go against him. They're stupid. Like, you're not going to outsmart him. Ever. Ever. Not even in your best day. On your best day, you will still get your butt whooped. He will make you think that you are doing something new. And all the whole entire time you've been falling right into his perfect will. All of his enemies are following to his perfect will. Everyone who is getting, let me look at y'all. I hear you, Father. I say just go to the word on this. Let's do it always, so y'all can get an understanding. This is what's happening right now. People are like, I don't know why this person got vaccinated. So look at this. Jeremiah, all right, 15. Judgment to continue. Then El Shaddai said to me, even if Moses and Samuel should stand before me, my heart would not go out to this people. Send them from my presence and let them go. Did you hear what he just said? Wait a minute. In this manner, prayer doesn't work. In this manner, fasting doesn't work. When the Father is through with you, it's a wrap. So the Father was through with our people. He said, not even if Samuel or Moses stood before me right now for these people, I'd be like, I understand. I want them dead, and I want them dead now. Now, how is he going to kill you? Let me show you how he's going to kill you. But it's going to come back to the nations, though, okay? So we'll come back to the nations. Then El Shaddai said to me, even if Moses and Samuel should stand before me, my heart, I will feel nothing for these people. No emotions, no nothing, right? My heart would not go out to this people. No compassion. Send them from my presence and let them go. Like, let them die. If they ask you, where shall we go? You are to tell them that this is what El Shaddai says. Those destined for death to death. You're going to die, you're going to die. Those destined for the sword to the sword. Those destined for famine to famine. Those destined for captivity to captivity. I will appoint over them 4 kinds of destroyers, declares Yah. The sword to kill, the dogs to drag away, and birds of the air and beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. That is literally what the pale horse. Look at it, and it's tying in right there perfect. Look, it's coming right in. Then I looked and saw a pale green horse. Didn't have to look up nothing. It was right there. That's what my mind went to, was with the pale horse, about what we just talking about. What? About this. I told you we've been here for a while. When our people was taken off of the land, that was the 4th horseman. Realize. Then I looked and saw a pale green horse. Its rider's name was Death and Hades, followed close by. And they were given authority over 4 of the earth to kill by sword, by famine, by plague, and by the beast of the earth. Being one is destined for captivity, into captivity you go. Being one is to die by the sword he must be killed. Here is a call for the perseverance, meaning what? The patience and faith of the saints. Watch this. Although they may fast, I told you, I will not listen to their cry. Although they may offer burnt offerings and grain offerings, I will not accept them. Instead, I will finish them all. Finish them. Fatality. By sword and famine and plague. and to the people, and the people to whom they prophesied will be thrown into the streets of Jerusalem because of famine and sword. There will be no one to bury them or their wives, so your whole family's being killed, their sons or their daughters. I will pour out their own evil upon them. Watch this. They will die from deadly diseases. It's the same thing happening right now. They will not be mourned or buried. Ain't nobody gonna cry for you, but will lie like dung on the ground. They will be finished off by sword and famine, and their corpse will become food for the birds of the air and beasts of the earth. And in this place I will ruin. You supposed to go back and build out the ancient ruins. And in this place I will ruin the plans of Judah and Jerusalem. So you done set your mind higher than the fathers. Instead of doing what he told you to do, you're trying to do your own thing. But the father says, I'm going to ruin your plans. Now, does this sound familiar? People are now trying to go outside of what the father says now. The father says you're going to come to him, but you're going to come to him and to his king David. And people are still trying to do their own thing. Let's see how that worked out for them. First time. See how it's going to work out for them again. The second time. Either people are going to obey or they're going to die. It's on them. Let's go. And now we see that the Father's been saying this the whole entire time. It's not just me. It's the word. And in this place, I will ruin the plans. I will ruin the plans. So whatever you thought you know, whatever you think you're going to do, no matter how many people, how many teachers think you're going to keep to yourselves, the word of the Father is going to be done concerning you, period. Whether it's to kill you, whether it's famine, whether it's disease, or whatever. But you are going to do whatever the Father tells you to do. Or you're going to be met with death, or famine, or captivity. That's what happened to our people. And in this place, I will warn the plans of Judah and Jerusalem. The Father warned their plans, he will do it again. I will make them fall by the sword before their enemies, by the hands of those who seek their lives. And I will give their carcasses as food to the birds of the air and the beasts of the earth. And I will send against them sword and famine and plague until they have perished from the land that I gave to them and their fathers. He will come and strike down the land of Egypt, bringing death to those destined for death, captivity to those destined for captivity, and to sword to those destined for the sword. Look at this. When the days of the siege have ended, this when the Roman Catholic Church and the Arabs are literally ended. Watch this. You are to burn up a third of the hair inside the city. You are also to take a third and slash it with the sword all around the city. And you are to scatter a third to the wind, for I will unleash a sword behind them. You cannot escape the Father's will. You can't do it. A third of your people will die by plague or be consumed by famine within you. A third will fall by the sword outside your walls, and a third I will scatter to everyone and unleash a sword behind it. I believe this right here was the 2/3. 2/3 will not make it. This is it right here. 2/3 of you didn't make it. Why? Because the Father said this is what's going to happen to you. You are to say, I am assigned to you. Just as it happened here, so will it be done to them. They will go into exile as captives. So the prophet literally did a lot of things that was going to happen to the people. Look at this. Look at this. I love this. Tell them this is what El Shaddai says. As surely as I live, those in the ruins will fall by the sword. Those in the open field, I will give to be devoured by wild animals. fourth horseman, and those in the strongholds and caves will die by plague. It will be like a man who flees from a lion, only to encounter a bear, or who enters his house and rests his hand against the wall, only to be bitten by a snake. This is supposed to be the day of Yah right here. It's the same thing. It's like people are asking for, the day of Yah, but the day of Yah is not light but darkness. Then I said, I will no longer shepherd you. Let the dying die and the perishing perish, and let those who remain devour one another's flesh. Hey. Man, people need to pray. Pray, 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 pray. And I will, watch this, when they fast, I will not hear their cry. When they offer burnt offering and oblation, I will not accept them. But I will consume them by the sword, and by famine, and by pestilence. And I will deliver them to be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth for their hurt. Not for your good, but for your hurt. To be a reproach and a proverb, a taunt and a curse in all places, whether I shall drive a curse wherever you go. Let me see if we can see this curse wherever we went. Oh, great sale of slaves, January 10th, 1855. A curse everywhere you go. Bring back the death penalty, bring back our police. Wow. Wow. A curse wherever we go. Look, right here, you're being dispersed about the four corners of the earth. You on the ship. Being dispersed with the four corners of the earth. Transatlantic slave trade is the witness that these things happen that the Father said you would go. Portugal, everywhere. You're going everywhere. To Brazil, Colombia, Charleston, British, London. You're going everywhere. Portuguese, you're going everywhere. You know why? Because you're hard-headed. You don't listen. Let me ask you a question now. How's your listening skills now? Are you listening now? Are you doing what the Father says will happen next? Or are you still fighting against it, thinking you're somebody super special that can actually go against his word? That you're not bound by his word. The word says you will always have a king. Period. Let's go there, shall we? 1 Samuel. Israel as for king, because by the time we already have it. So Israel as for king. There it is. Verse 8. Israel demands a king, right? Now this ties into what the Father said. They can't ask for a king without the Father already telling Abraham, from you will come kings. From you will come kings. Genesis. There it is. The renaming of Abram. No longer will you be called Abram, but your name will be Abraham. For I have made you a father of many nations. I will make you exceedingly fruitful. I will make nations of you, and kings will descend from you. I will establish my covenant, kings is included with that, as an everlasting covenant between me and you, So watch this. I will establish my covenant as an everlasting covenant between me and you and your descendants after you, to be your El Shaddai and Yah of your descendants after you. Notice what is part of that covenant. Kings, nations. That's all part of the covenant. So if you're not trying to come into the new covenant, you're not going to receive this new king. Right, let's go. Next, Genesis 35 and 11. These things is all word based. So people are leaning to their own understanding. Stupid. Jacob, his name is, and Yah said to him, though your name is Jacob, you will no longer be called Jacob. Wait a minute, there's a name change with Abram to Abraham, Jacob to Israel or Yisrael. Instead, your name will be Yisrael. So Yah named him Yisrael. And Yah told him, I am Yah Almighty, or El Shaddai Almighty, which is mean the Most High. That's literally what El Shaddai means. El Shaddai means Almighty. So literally, instead of saying, so El Shaddai will be that name. Means Almighty. Notice, today is mighty. El Shaddai would translate to Yah Almighty. But they call him El for short for Elohim, but it was just the same thing as El Shaddai. Right? So they removed El Shaddai, right? And El Shaddai told him, I am El Shaddai Almighty, the Most High. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation, even a company of nations, shall come from you, and kings shall descend from you. The land that I gave to Abraham and Isaac, I will give to you, and I will give this land to your descendants after you. It sounds like the blessing passes on to every single generation. So the same thing he did with Abraham, he now did it with Jacob. He didn't do it with Isaac. He didn't have to change Isaac's name. He changed Jacob's name. So then my name was changed from what it was to Heart of Psalms, to Yashayahu, or Yeshaya, and also to music. The Father changed my name, just like he changed Abraham's name, or Abram's name to Abraham. Jacob to Yisrael. My name was changed from where it was to Heart of Psalms, Yeshaya, and to music. There's correlation. So Father has been doing this for a long time. So let's find out what happens when Yisrael becomes king. The Father is not pressed for this. He's not even upset about it. He knows, because then he will be upset about his own word. Be like, it took him by surprise. Like, how dare they ask for the king? I've been the king the whole entire time. No, Father told you, like, look, this is going to be my covenant with you. I'm going to have a king over you, and that's going to be my covenant with you. That's why he says to David, he's like, I will give you as a covenant to the people. Behold, I will give you as a covenant. Accepting the king is part of the covenant. Behold, I will give you as a covenant. Boom. Mourning turn to joy. Instead, each will die for his own iniquity. Even everyone sour grapes. In the house of Judah, I got the covenant I made with their fathers when I took them from their hand, led them out of the land of Egypt. Covenant they broke, though I was a husband to them, declares Yah. So Father says, I was a husband to them. He says, no, I'm gonna make a new covenant. What's this covenant gonna be? This covenant gonna be, all right, you're gonna have people, you're gonna have someone over you.
He just dropped the entire Australia.
Here it is. Isaiah 42. It's freezing. I have called thee in righteousness and will hold thy hand, keep thee, and give thee as a covenant of the people for the light of the Gentiles. Oh my goodness, man. I feel like I'm about to listen to the sound of music. All right, Isaiah 42. 36.
Yeah, right.
Rising up prayer. This person is bringing the salvation to the ends of the earth. Pay attention, my people, and listen to me, my nation. For a law will go out from me, and my justice will come a light to the nations. I will bring it about quickly. For Yah will do what? A quick work. So this covenant is going to be a quick work. A very quick work. It's the day of salvation. The Father's going to bring about salvation and have raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David. David was the king over all Israel. And the Father promises to always have a king before us. No matter what it is, he said he will not go against that. Ever. All right. So Samuel's warning. So Samuel spoke all the words of God to the people. Let me see. Just have that done for the day. Okay, here we go. All right. So Israel demands a king. I'll read from King James. It's 350. I was working on it. It's gonna be on this long, but I am. All right. And it came to pass when Samuel was old that he made his sons judges over Israel. Now the name of the firstborn was Joel, and the name of the second Abiah. They were judges in Beersheba, and the sons walked not in his ways, but turned after lucre and took bribes and perverted judgment. Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together and came to Samuel unto Ramah, and said unto him, Behold, thou art old, and your sons walk not in your ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations. The thing displeased Samuel. Notice it did not displease the Father. When they said, Give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed unto Yah. And Yah said unto Samuel, Hearken unto the voice of the people and all that they say unto thee. For they have not rejected you, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them, according to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them up out of Egypt, even unto this day, wherewith they have forsaken me and served other gods. So do they also unto you. Now therefore hearken unto their voice, howbeit yet protest solemnly unto them, to show them the manner of the king that shall reign over them. And Samuel's warning about kings. And Samuel told all the words of Yah to the people that asked of him a king. And he said, This will be the manner of the king that shall reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them for himself, for his chariots, and to be his horsemen, and some shall run before his chariots, and he will appoint him captains over thousands, and captains over fifties, and will set them to ear his ground, and to reap his harvest, and to make his instruments of war, and instruments of his chariots. And he will take your daughters to be confessionaries, and to be cooks, to be bakers. And he will take your fields, and your vineyards, and your olive yards, even the best of them, and give them to his servants. And he will take the tenth of your seed, and of your vineyards, and give to his officers and to his servants. And he will take your men servants, and your maid servants, and your goodliest young men, and your asses, and put them to his work. He will take the tenth of your sheep, and you shall be his servants. One person said also slaves. And you shall cry out in that day because of your king, which you shall have chosen you, and Yah will not hear you in that day. Yah grants a request. Nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel, and they said, no, but we will have a king over us, that we also may be like all the nations, and that our king may judge us, and go out before us, and fight our battles. And Samuel heard all the words. You see what the king is for? For fighting battles, and to judge, to go out and fight. And Samuel heard all the words of the people, and he rehearsed them in the ears of his people, in the ears of Yah. And El Shaddai said to Samuel, hearken unto their voice, and make them a king. But understand the covenant part. The day you cry out against him, the Father will not hear you. And Samuel said unto the men of Israel, go ye every man unto a city. Now, what does that look like? When the day you cry out against him, when I hear you, he will not condemn him when he is judged. Thou will not abandon him to his power, or let him be condemned when he is brought to trial. Thou will not leave him in his hand, or condemn him when he is judged. So, Yah will not leave him in his hand, or condemn him when he is judged. The mouth of the righteous speaketh wisdom, and his tongue talketh of judgment. The law of his Yah is in his heart. None of his steps shall slide. The wicked watches the righteous and seeketh to slay him. Yah will not leave him in his hand, or condemn him when he is judged. Wait on Yah and keep his way, he shall execute thee. Exalt thee, he shall exalt thee to inherit the land. When the wicked are cut off, and you shall see it. I have seen the wicked in great power and spreading himself like a green bay tree. Yet he passed away, and lo, he was not. Yea, I saw him, but he could not be found. So now, what rests upon this king? In Isaiah, we see some things taking place. It says in Isaiah 11, the very same things that the people asked for is given to this king, right? He may judge us, go out before us, and to do what? To fight our battles. So Isaiah 11 talks about war coming. And the spirit of Yah shall rest upon him, the spirit of wisdom, understanding, the spirit of counsel, and might, and the spirit of knowledge, and the fear of Yah. And he shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of Yah, and he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, and reprove after the hearing of his ears. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity the meek of the earth, and he shall smite the earth with the word of his mouth, with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. Now, what's he doing? He's slaying. That's war. He is going war. And he shall set up a sign for the nation, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. But they will fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines towards the west. This is war. They shall spoil them of the east together. They shall lay their hand upon Edom. They shall lay their hands. They're not talking about laying hands in the name of the Father. You know what I'm saying? They're talking about laying hands, swords, cut, killing, you know. They shall lay their hands on Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon shall obey them. Again, what did they ask for? They asked for a soldier. Hey, we want a king. To do what? To judge us. And to do what? Go out and fight our battles. So anyone who is called king, you are a warrior. You are a assassin. You are to kill whenever the Father says kill. Anyone who has a problem with that, you cannot be a king in any respects. If you're looking for the peace route and don't want to have the confrontation, that's because you ain't no soldier. You ain't no warrior. Because even the Messiah said, I didn't come to bring peace. I come to bring confrontation. I came to bring sword. So the distress is taking place. Why? Because we are already here. Look, the destruction of Jerusalem. Now this is tying into what? What's already taking place to us. So these things are going on because this is already happening. The destruction of Jerusalem, meaning what? There's not our land right now. Our land is now desolate. But when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, meaning what? Surrounded by the Arab nations, surrounded by what? Roman Catholic Church and all the other nations coming against us in the medieval times, you will know that her desolation is near. Now they're going to set up abomination of desolation in the land. What's that going to be? The very same thing that you're going to be destroyed in, the church. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let those in the city get out. Let those in the country stay out of the city. But these are the days of vengeance to fulfill all that is written. Meaning what? The Father has great anger towards our people. If you come in here, you're going to die. And he's not going to have any mercy on you. Okay? How miserable those days will be for pregnant and nursing mother. Remember he said, kill the mothers, kill the children. He said, those to the devil. He says, I ain't going to have no mercy on none of y'all. Look what it says right here. I ain't going to have no mercy on y'all. Where the kids at? Where they at? It says, let the dying get the dying. Where the kids at? Where they at? Where your family at? He said, the whole family will die. Your animals, you can eat, it doesn't matter. Die, everybody die. There it is, right here. And the people to whom they prophesied will be thrown into the streets of Jerusalem because of famine and sword. There will be no one to bury them or their wives, their sons or their daughters. I will pour out their own evil upon them. This is Jerusalem being destroyed, besieged. So the mothers who are pregnant. So it says you don't want to be a pregnant mother at this time. Now, why in the world you don't want to be a pregnant mother at this time? Let me show you what happened to you. Come on, move for the purpose. All right, thank you. Pregnant mothers. Got it. Oh, medieval times. They would cut out your baby. They was gutting the mothers who had babies. That's why I said you didn't want to be pregnant during this time, because your baby was literally going to be cut out and your baby's head was going to drop down to the ground for a what? Execution. Ooh, that sucks. Let's see. Pregnant mothers, gutted. Look at that picture. I know they don't want to show that, but it's nasty. Pregnant mothers, not gutted, but what would that be? Having babies cut out. Pregnant mother's babies, right? I'm gonna say mother's babies cut out of fall to ground. I ain't for my pregnant. No, they don't want to see the grossness of things that happen in the days. They want to be all nice to it. Oh no. Medieval. The pregnant maiden women with the head wound gave birth. Oh no. Oh. Y'all get what they're trying to say. They understand what they're trying to say, but they're not caring each other. But you can imagine though. Imagine a mother. You've seen some movies where it be gruesome. The pregnant mothers, whatnot, they trying to get rid of, make sure that no baby is alive, whatnot. So they literally gut that baby out. Pregnant mothers, babies cut out of the womb with knife, with sword. There we go. Now we get this. And you know, when that baby probably hit the ground, you know, the animals probably was sent on that baby to eat it up. As soon as it came out of the womb, boom. Imagine that now. They didn't care about your babies. They didn't care about you being pregnant. Your babies was gutted. Mothers gutted with baby. All right, mother, let's see, pregnant mothers. Killed with the sword. They just would not show this gruesome detail. I'm trying to find it. Here it is. It's more like it, something like that. But that's because we probably with Abraham and Isaac. Check it. Imagine a mother literally pregnant for over, you know what I'm saying, whatever. She may be 7 months, 8 months, whatever. It doesn't matter how old you are, but you're pregnant. And now imagine soldiers coming in. And while you're pregnant, they're killing all the men in the temple. They're gone. And they see the pregnant mothers inside the temple. What they gonna do? Come through, kill you, cut the baby out, baby's head hitting the ground. You're dying, you're bleeding out. The baby don't have no whatever animals coming around eating on you and eating on the baby at the same time. I pray that your flight be not on the Sabbath day. Because that's exactly what's going to happen, pretty much on the Sabbath. Or either on a feast day. It's about the destruction of Jerusalem. All right. Let's go back to Luke. All right. But when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, you will know that her desolation is near, meaning what? The ending of her, the end of her reign. This is when Hosea 3, 4, and 5 is coming into play, right? When you're about to go away for a while. For the Yisrael must live many days without king or prince, without sacrifice or sacred pillar, without ephod or idol. Why? Because the desolation is coming. But afterwards, it tells you what's going to happen. Afterward, the people of Yisrael will return and seek Yah. their will seek El Shaddai, their Elohim, or their Yah, and David, their king. Notice king is included with you coming back. Without these two things there, you're not in any kind of covenant, no matter what you think you know or you feel. It says David, their king, because the Messiah says, you will never, ever see me again until you say, blessed is he who comes in the name of Yah. You will never see me again. And he literally means that. So David comes first after the rebuilding of your house. Look what the Messiah's already telling you. Look, he's telling you where to start. Your house is desolate. So since your house is desolate, one has to come before me to build the house. Now get this. Look how fitting this is. David had to leave the materials behind for Solomon to build the temple. Why? Because his hands was bloody. It wasn't bloody because he did wars. It was bloody because he killed or had Uriah killed. But the father's like, I can't receive at this time you building my temple. Why? Because you got innocent blood on your hands. I can't do that. But now look how fitting it is. He allows David to come back and build him, to help build up the ancient ruins, to build everything back. It's powerful. Very thing he was afforded and was not able to do, Father gives it back to him. Man, isn't that just love right there? He brings them back to do it. That's powerful. It's powerful. Your house is desolate. And I tell you, you will not see me again. So watch this. While your house is in desolation, you will not see me again until you say, blessed is he who comes in the name of Yah. While your house is desolate, meaning what? I'm not coming back to a house that's desolate. So he's telling you what he's not going to go. The whole entire time while your place is desolate, the Messiah is not coming. The only begotten Son of Yah is not coming. While you have Arabs and other people reigning over you, I will not be coming. Okay? Someone else got that job to do. Right? And this is the person who got the job to do right here. And afterwards, the people of Israel will return and seek the Father and David their king. They will come trembling to Yah and to his goodness in the last days. You understand? So he's telling you what is going on. What's going on? Let's go. All right. How miserable those days will be for pregnant and nursing mothers. Why? Because your kids going to be killed. Because there will be great distress upon the land and wrath against the people. Distress means what? You're being murdered. You're being killed. Can you imagine a mother, nursing mother, kill that baby, and they kill your baby right in front of you? And after they kill your baby in front of you, that you see that distress, and then they kill you afterwards. That's distress. You being distressed, seeing your baby being killed before you, right? After they kill your baby, you kill. Watch this. Look what it says. It tells you why. How miserable those days will be for pregnant and nursing mothers, because you're going to die. So is your baby going to die. But there will be great distress upon the land and wrath against his people. They will fall by the edge of the sword and be led captive to all the nations. What's this happening? The pregnant and nursing mothers. They're going to be killed by the edge of the sword and led captive into all nations. And Jerusalem will be trodden down by the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Now, when the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled, that is when that mountain is cut out without hands, comes through and shatters that image. That's what that is, right? This making sense to people? They're starting to get this. This making sense. Peter's acting stupid. anytime. Oh my goodness. You know what's the best internet over there? And it's way better than over here right now. I'm so sick. Come on. All right. Those are some of the experience. So, there we go. Okay. So that's why Saudi Arabia is getting they behind whooped right now because they're part of the problem. Their religion is not peaceful, as they say it is. That's why the Messiah says something totally different. He says, I'm not coming in peace. Meaning what? I have no part with Islam. And the same one's like, hey, I'm coming to bring unity. Watch this. The church is about coexistence. The church is about coexistence, unity. That's what the
Coexistence.
church is about, right? And Muslims are what? A religion of peace. Look, Islam is a religion of peace. So what is the Messiah saying right here when he says, think not that I've come to bring peace? What is he saying? But I come to bring sword. Meaning he says, I'm coming totally opposite of all these different religions. When people say like, well, is Muslim the same as the ones who serve the true Messiah? Or is Christianity? We've been on that for thinking that Christianity has been the one to serve the one true Messiah. And now we see that it doesn't. Because the Messiah is saying something totally different than what Christianity teaches. Christianity teaches coexistence. The Messiah is saying, I didn't come to bring peace, or to bring any type of peace. I mean, that is a sort of kind of coexistence. He says, I come to bring the opposite. I come to bring division. Not peace, but a sword. And then, Islam's like, we are a religion of peace. Messiah says, I'm not like you, and I'm definitely not like Christianity. I'm not like Christianity, and I'm definitely not like Islam. So he's showing you exactly what he's not a part of right there in his word. Number one, think not that I've come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. Islam says what? We are a religion of peace. Islam is a religion of peace. One policy. The term of religious peace has been applied to different religions, including what? Islam and Christianity. The Messiah says, I'm not of Islam, and I'm definitely not of Christianity. I'm not of Christianity, and I'm definitely not of Islam. You see how we just kill two birds with just that one stone? Powerful, right? When you know the word will set you free. See, people just read the word and don't understand what they're reading. There's a parable behind everything. But the word is saying exactly what it says. It says, so if any religion tell you they're saying that they're about peace, no, it is not from me. Because my word is going to always be a sword. It's going to be always divided from other different religions. Buddha is another religion of peace. You know, all these things have a religion of peace. Remember in 8, let me see. In the 18, when B.A. Baracus, he took up, he's like, you know what, I took up, I can't kill nobody. So Baracus took up a vow, I killed nobody. So he got it from Buddha or Gandhi. And then, I don't know, he's trying to show you what, this so-called Buddha or Buddhists are mostly what? Peaceful. In karate, they always teach you like, let it be the last thing you use. Because it's about besides like I'm not like y'all. I'm coming to cut heads off and ask about names later. So everybody yelling peace until we get peace. Spirit ain't on you. Spirit ain't with you. Spirit don't know you. Anyone talking about coexistence outside of what this word's about? You don't know the Father, and the Father don't know you, and you on your way to hell. I'm like simple. So simple. It's not hard at all, and not super deep. It's simple. There's simplicity in this word. All right. So in Jerusalem, we'll be trying about the Gentiles until, meaning what? They're going to be constantly trodden down until the time for the Gentiles be fulfilled. Meaning what? Until the end of them has been led up, then that is when their time is fulfilled. Now, when is their time fulfilled? Isaiah. When this person shows up, this person has been sent to set the captives free. And he's going to set them free also with what? With straight up taking some people out, moving some people out. Isaiah left. Spirit going to rest upon him for what? For war.
So
now the church will have you like, oh, it's gonna be about peace, 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 peace. No, it ain't. It's about war. They're gonna fly. They're gonna rush upon the shoulders of the Philistines towards the west. They shall spoil them of the east. Together they shall lay their hand upon Edom and Moab. The children of Ammon shall obey them. There's going to be time. Now, watch this. I believe there's different lands over in the land that's hard to get to. That's covered over with water. And there's a time that when we get over there, Father's going to cause for those waters or earthquakes to take place, open up the ground, really cause that water to seep through. So we can cross over where it used to be lakes of water. I'm talking about seas of water. Cause it to literally empty out so we can cross over to all the different lands and kill whoever we need to kill. Oh yeah. Come to a place like, man, it's a whole thing. It's a whole sea right there. I believe the Father's about to start drying out some seeds. So we can cross over dry shod. Cross over dry ground to get to where we get to. You can't get to us. We got a big gulf between us. Not anymore. Here I come. Y'all hear about it like, wait a minute, the king said that. And now it's happening. Look. And Yah shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea, and with his mighty wind shall he shake his hand over the river, and shall smite it in the 7 streams, and make men go over dry shod. Why? This right here. There's a gulf, there's water that splits between us. So that means the place they got over here, let's put it in Africa. Image. Look at that. This right here, it's gonna go bye-bye. This water, it's gonna go bye-bye. So we can just cross right on over to the other side and start whooping they asses. Just whoop, 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 whoop. We ain't gonna need no ship. We just gonna walk straight across and whoop their ass. That's it. Shut up. Just whoop. We come. But we have to start back here. Again, start back here and work our way towards all the different lands. Whooping, 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 whooping. Conquering, 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 conquering. And at the last minute, come over here and conquer them. So just as, watch this, it's only right. Just as they had the Christian crusades, we about to have a crusade of our own. The Bantu crusades, or the Bantu troops is coming out to destroy what the Christian crusades and the Muslim crusades have done. Look, Christianity, the crusades of Christianity and Islam. See, it's right here in your face. Look, you'll be delivered to their synagogues and their mosques. You'll be tortured by Christianity and by Islam. So it's only right to give them what they gave us. We're not coming in peace. Now you want to come in peace. You say you come in peace, but you came with a sword. So bitch be coming with a sword straight out the gate. We ain't gonna tell you to come with peace. Coming straight with a sword, and we're coming to kill you. Christians, beware. Judgment is on our people to execute what the Father wants to be done. I can't say him no more because Father's just not about that. But you don't know him. And then as your head go flying, go tell him that we sent you and see how much he actually likes you. I ain't sugarcoat nothing. I ain't got no respect towards none of these religions. None. They can all burn. Cobblestone can burn too. All of it can burn. Crash and burn. The day of reckoning is coming very soon. Where the soldiers at? I ain't got none to lose. Nothing. So the time of the Gentiles being fulfilled with me is coming to the end of their reign.
So
The return of the Son of Man. There will be signs in the sun. Watch this. The return of the Son of Man is going to bring forth what? The same thing that was going on here. So the return of the Son of Man is going to bring forth signs in the sun and moon and stars and on the earth, dismay among the nations, bewildered by the roaring of the seas and the surging of the waves. Men will faint from fear and anxiety over what is coming upon the earth. The powers of the heavens will be shaken. At that time, they will see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. When these things begin to happen, stand up and lift up your heads because your redemption is drawing near. Now watch this. It's the time of your salvation. Now, let me look at y'all real quick. People always says cloud, and they always looking cloud like looking up. If this place is to catch on fire, would there not be a cloud of smoke? It says, come in with great power in the cloud. What was the great power of the cloud? Let's go see if we can find that. Let's go. That's what we're doing. We ain't gonna have the same understanding as Christianity. We're gonna have a better understanding of Christianity. There will be signs. All right, so they see the Son of Man in a cloud with power and great glory. So focus on that. At that time, a specific time, they will see. It's telling you something that is going to happen. At that time, they will see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And it say coming down with great, it says the Son of Man coming in a cloud. What is that cloud? That cloud is Isaiah 11. And the Spirit of Yah shall rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge, and of the fear of Yah. This is the cloud. So when they see this Son of Man, who is what? The roots, the stem of Jesse, the branch. When they see the branch, which is the Son of Man, coming in the Spirit of Yah, when they see that, these things, now watch what's going to happen before he shows up. It's telling you all what's going to show up. What's going to happen? These things, signs in the sun, moon, stars, and the earth, dismay among the nations, bewildered by the roaring of the seas, surging of the waves, men will faint from fear and anxiety of what is coming on the earth. For the powers of the heaven will be shaken. At that time, they will see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. When these things begin to happen, stand up and lift up your heads because your redemption drawing near. Why? Because Isaiah says what? I've been anointed to set captive. What does it say in Isaiah? What's he doing over here? What is in Isaiah's happening? And in that day, there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for a sign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yah shall set his hand again the second time to do what? To save, to deliver, to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, from Egypt, from Pathros, from Cush, from Elam, Shinar, from Hamath, the islands of the sea. And he shall set up a sign for the nations and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Lift up your hands for your redemption draweth nigh. Once you see the sun coming in the cloud of great power and glory, the Father says what? The Messiah says you have to give this king glory before I come. Blessed is he who comes in the name of God. The Messiah is giving this person glory. So how much more you think you have to give him? The Father says he's going to give him glory. I will glorify. It's the Messiah. It's the Father. He said, I will glorify you.
Yeah, so I didn't know if it was actually the lightning. So we'll get about that. So I got about better 20 furniture outside, clothes and all that, so I was went outside like
It's gonna be probably Isaiah.
Oh, it was,
To those who were
and then you smell the
to him,
smoke. So it's like,
a war is not out. Yep, who was the spies? Isaiah 53.
no,
That's not it. 49.
on one side,
What's this? He says, it is not enough for you, my servant, to raise up the tribes of Israel, to restore the protected ones of Israel. To what? To save them. I will also make you a light for the nations to bring my salvation to the ends of the earth. Go back to the verse again. Son of man coming in great cloud, coming in the cloud with power and great glory. When these things begin to happen, stand up and lift up your heads because your salvation is drawing near. Go back to it. To bring my salvation to the ends of the earth, thus saith Yah, the Redeemer of the Holy One of Israel. To him who was despised and abhorred by the nation, to the servant of rulers, kings will see you and rise. That's honor. And princes will bow down. That's glory. Because of Yah, who is faithful, and the Holy One of Israel, who has chosen. This is what Yah says: in the time of favor, I will answer you, and in the day of salvation, I will help you. I will keep you and appoint you to be a covenant. Like he said with Abraham, Jacob, kings will come from you, to be a covenant for the people, to restore the land, to apportion its desolate inheritance. So the Messiah says, all these things must be taking place. People must have their land, their portion of land, before he comes back. Things must be set in order. The word says, but prepare the way for the Messiah. Now, when John the Baptist was here, the land was already in desolation. So he already did that before. You will come back and things still be in desolation when he comes back? Are you serious?
so I'm like,
So we're gonna do this again. When John the Baptist is here, the land is already in desolation. He tells them, your land is desolate before you. He tells them. So the Messiah already sees desolation. So he's gonna leave the place desolate, and it comes back to a desolate place again. But when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, you will know that her desolation is near. So the Messiah is already telling you, prophesying to you, desolation, right? And then he goes on to tell you, like, your land before you is desolate. But this person has been ordained to build up the desolate places, right? And to also give unto everyone their portion of land. Whew, man, this stuff is powerful, right? Powerful, 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 powerful. I love it because it means our salvation draweth near than what it ever was before. I love this right here. Father's like, you can't even pray to me about these people, bruh. I'm done with them. I'm like completely finished with them. You can't pray to me. You can't even, you can't give me nothing for time. But look how we just went through and just cut off Christianity and Islam just with the words of the Messiah. That's it. So when people say, oh, Christian, Muslims are the way, the truth, and the life. They're the real truth. Look how we just went through and just cut that head right on off. Just cut that snake head right off. Like, it's so easy. Cut just by using his words, his testimony. Man, Father, just be so precise before, like, cut. No, he's not a part of it. Cut, stab it, just be precise. It just be so precise. And he shows about what's gonna happen to us real people. You're gonna be slaves. You're gonna be hated amongst the nations. You're like, I wonder why white people don't like us so much, because you are hated amongst the nations. Why? Because the Father told you you will be hated. That is literally a sign to mark the true people of the Father. Number one, you will be hated for my name's sake. And that's what's happening to you. But you're almost out of this because you've already heard this throughout the years of your life. There's only so much you can deal with, and now salvation is approaching. I'll be hitting the land pretty soon. And I am He, the Son of Man, who speaks to you these words. So, Father always tells me to tell people that if they want to be blessed, to give. So, give, so you can be blessed. So, like, I don't know how I'm going to get to the land. Give. Watch the Father open doors that you cannot explain. That happened to Kenny, he's now in the land. That happened to Carla, she's now in the land. Devin, they're now in the land. All from Goshen, right? So, and other people are eloping. They're coming. So get your passports. You're gonna need your birth certificate. Everything that Uncle Kenny already said. Get it. Get it. The tickets right now are a little bit cheap, but they're going to start bringing more flight restrictions as time goes along, as they start to see more people making an escape. That's what the Bible says, an escape, because you are literally escaping what's coming here. The sun is no longer here. Things going to happen here. Take a wild guess. With that sign right there, hands raised means what? You start right here. There's only one place on the earth that has the same thing as that man, and that's Gambia. Nowhere else in the earth does it happen. So, like, again, that's like, we need to start right here. Right where those hands is raised, we touch down it. And from there, we build up everything and begin to take over what we need to take over. It's going to be already given to us because we already see it right here in the Word. Mainly to our own understanding, we're just following Scripture. There's no one right now at this moment who has on Bayah. In fact, people have been told that if you have up the banner, that they will unfriend you on Facebook. Making also, again, showing you like this person is despised and hated by the nation. That this banner is hated. Most people say, if you got this banner, I ain't gonna be your friend. So what? I would rather have this banner up and be hated by those who are haters than to literally not have this banner up and be numbered with those who are following others who ain't even got a dog in the fight. You can't even find a position really found in the Word, not in a good place anyway. At least you can find this in the Word. I would be on the Word side versus on what everyone else is doing because they're doing it. I'm just saying. But in school, I wanted to follow. I was a leader. And sometimes being a leader, you always stuck by yourself. You was a loner. That was me. And I loved it. So yeah. I love this. This is so freaking powerful. It's powerful. It's so powerful. Yeah, share the video. Tell the people we are going home. Tell them, let them know what's going on. Tell them. I'm already looking at trying to do the music video right now. Into Blacks Arrested. Meet me in Gambia. I need soldiers. We're about to, once I get there, I'm gonna have, look what I already tell you already there. It's telling you the spirit's gonna rest. It's already been rested, but imagine how heavy it's gonna rest even then. Even that much more. Watch. It's about to change. Once I get to the land, it's about to go. Look at it. Hold on. I don't mean people follow Bantu or Bantu. There's, I think, like, let me go check the paper. I think, like, their father of their nation, or I think it's Nambia or something like that. So TB Joshua died. We have all these leaders before that were dying. So it's like all the leadership or anything that is like had the people in a chokehold for years. I was like, cut. I don't want him to have to go any kind of things he ain't got to go. So any kind of judicial system that would probably crooked or whatever, they're being taken off the face of the earth. Or if they was righteous. Righteous being removed. Why? Because of whatever the evil that's coming upon the earth. So it could be either way. But all I know is that TB Joshua, no way, shape, or fashion, righteous. That boy going to hell. He opened up his eyes. The next time he opened his eyes, he's gonna be in hell. And he's gonna be frying. It's a wrap. All right. So don't pray for him. Father ain't gonna hear he ain't gonna hear your prayer. Okay. So here it is, right here. And this was from Uncle Kenny. Uncle Kenny let me know about it. As soon as it come up. As soon as it wanna come up. For real? There we go. Look. The father of our nation is no more. Rest in peace, KK. What a sad day for not only us in Zambia, but for the whole continent and Black people globally. A true Bantu king has fallen. A true Bantu king has fallen. Now, look at this. May he rest in peace. Now, why is this happening? This is happening for a reason. Because Isaiah 11 says, he is the king over all of the nations. So anyone else claiming to be king over nations and all that kind of stuff like that, they're going to have to go. Just saying. All right. Let me see. This right here. Let me see. This right here. I know I see to keep seeing this all this thing coming over here. All right. All right. Let's go. Let's bring it up. All right. All right. As the Kasabi family, I need help. I have 6 children and the younger 3 children, which is my twins, child 3, child 4, child. Don't listen. Hard-headed, and me and my husband, the enemy coming against me. Using the vision, I am pregnant with 7 children this month. My own children taking advantage of me while I'm pregnant, and I need to find out. Is there any remedy, like something they can take to calm them down? Yeah, a whooping. like a straight up. Let me go show you what calms them down.
I did.
Belt.
So we.
Yep, right there. It's a calmer right here. This is a peacekeeper right here. Keeps the peace. You gotta first bring a sword, and then it's gonna cause them to have peace. Or another one was a paddle weapon. Paddle belt. Let's see. Nope, not paddle belt. Not that. Paddle. Whooping. Not for boats. There we go. There we go. This right here is just the educator. It will educate them. Because the Bible says, spare the rod, you will spoil the child. Spare the rod, spoil that child. Right? He who spares a rod hates his son. I don't want to whoop him because I don't want to see him cry. Who cares? Better whoop their behind. Whoever spares a rod hates their children, but the one who loves their children is careful to discipline them. Those who love their children care enough to discipline them, but he who loves them is diligent to discipline them, to chastise them, whoop their behind, light them up like fire. He who withholds the rod of discipline hates his child. I love you, son. I love your daughter, but you don't want to whoop them. You hate them. It's the opposite. So what the world says is don't whoop them. That's the opposite of what the Father says. If you don't whoop them, you hate them. He said, I love my child so much, I don't want to whoop him. The wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Father. But he who loves him disciplines and trains him diligently and appropriately, wisdom and love. The one who will not use the rod hates their children. But the one who loves them disciplines them diligently. Watch this. He that spareth the rod hateth the son, but he that loveth the children chastise them many times. B times means many times. It's not just one time. Not just, it's many times. As many times as needed. If you love your children, you will correct them. If you don't love them, you won't correct them. You'll just tell them to sit down somewhere and expect them to sit down all the time. Go to the corner. Put your nose in the corner. This is what kids love. Kids in timeouts. Kids in timeout. This crap right here. This girl got her tongue out and everything. Yep, that's when you just beat the brakes right there. You go ahead and whoop that child sticking tongue out. Who are you to stick your tongue out? I'm mad at you. You about to be even worse. You better be mad. But you know what? After a child is whooped, something about them just becomes so much humble because their butt gives way to a belt. It's just like something about like either their butt's gonna win or the belt is gonna win. Like, oh my goodness, it's just like, oh my goodness. I love this right here. Make kids great again. That is beautiful. I love that. That is wonderful. Make kids great again. And that's a paddle right there. I love it. This is wonderful. I love it. Make kids great again. You want to make your house great again? Whoop your kids. Spank their behinds. It says free ass whooping. It said I'll be away for free. Oh yes, this is what we need right here. If they get this, guess what they won't see? Jail. They won't see this. They won't say this. But see, the county needs for this to be filled up. So they're going to tell you to put your kids in timeout. But that's opposite of, see, you trust a man instead of trusting in the Father, which the word is foolish. The nation said, don't move your kids. You might as well go ahead and get the coronavirus shot and everything too as well, because in this area, you might as well go ahead and get shot too. Because there's no difference. The government's going to be speaking differently than what the word says to do. And it's going to always cause you trouble. The government said you got to get shot with this serum. So I don't have to do it. Because the government says so. Well, I trust in the Father, not in what they're saying. And every single time my people trust the government, they always get messed up when it comes to situations like that. You listen to how to raise your kids from the government, your people will end up right here. They'll end up here. You'll end up in here. Prisoner intake and release. And that person will be set out. It will be put out in the corner for a while. Look at this. You're training your kids for a timeout. Look, it's no different. Look at this. You're literally training your kids for jail. You're putting them in timeout. And they're going to get timeout for 6 months, timeout for a year. Some people got timeout for life. Look at this. You're in go to your room. I'm in timeout. 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 All of this is timeout, literally. Time out of civilization, time out of your family, time out. Look, he's looking at the wall, look at the window, time out. The same thing when he was little, now he's a grown man in time out. Time out. So don't whoop your kids if you don't want to. Look at this. Same thing. I told you, look at this. Time out. Look how that fits in perfectly. Time out. The same thing. Now imagine some bars right there, sitting in the corner. Same thing. Imagine, the same thing. Time out. With bars right there. In with another inmate. Imagine him sitting on the bunk. Jail cell. With the bars right there. Time out. Same thing. Him up here reading a book. Sitting in the jail cell. Time out. It's no difference. So you prepare your kids for this. Because the Bible said if you hate your children, you're not going to whoop them. You're going to send them to what? Time out. And they will get timed out many times. And then after you've been timed out so many times, they just lost into the system. So play with it if you want to. Listen to the word. Or don't. That's on you. He said, wow. He said, wow, can I see the connection between time out and prison? It's the same thing. Literally. Yes, the rod does work. I've had my behind whooped many times. You know what I'm saying? I didn't always get a little whooped. I was whooped. Yeah, I know that a belt and a butt, your butt's going to melt. It's going to like, man, you know what? You might think about that. I'm about to go do this if I want to. Nah, I know that's damn what this guy whooped like yesterday, 2 days ago. I don't feel like this. I don't feel like crying today. I feel like I done cried enough yesterday. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna shed no tears. Why can't I do nothing else? I'm just gonna sit my butt down somewhere and just soak up. So I'm gonna go to sleep. Sleep. So I can whoop it. Come on.
So,
Go to sleep.
there's
I mean, because when you're doing stuff, it seems like a great idea. But after you get whooped, it don't seem great no more. It's just like, oh, did I do this? See, when you get whooped, it makes you reconsider your life decisions. You be like, but in timeout, you just think about how you can do it better next time and not get caught. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. How can I do it better and not get caught? Timeout.
another thing that's recommended.
You did wrong. Oh man, I'm in timeout. Okay. What did I tell you? See? Tell me. Then after that, you grab the bell and then you whip them out. See, a kid know how to manipulate you by the age of 3. That's when their memory comes in. So at the age of 3, they're already learning how to manipulate you. So they're gonna know if you're gonna whoop them or not. By the age of 3, let me help y'all, some of y'all kids. Your kids already know you are a punk by the age of 3. If you're one of those kids, I really don't want to whoop them, and they're 3 years old, I don't want to whoop them now. By the time they're 4, 5, 6, 8, they already know how to get around you because you was not whooping they behind at the age of 3. They already have a memory at the age of 3. So they know those who are going to chastise behind, and they know those who are just going to be so lenient.
So that's all those two are out.
I ain't got time. I don't. I was chastising kids in Walmart, Kroger, and Fry's. I seen this one white boy going off on his mom, everything like that. Like, no, why not I do this? You know what? This father rolls up within me. I was like, I said, first of all, that's your mom. He looked at me like, so you don't ever treat your mom like that. I went off on that white. White don't care. I didn't care about no cops. Didn't care about nothing. I said, you owe your mama a apologize. Apologize to her. Sorry, mama. Don't ever do it again. The whole entire time, I'm looking at her. Mom looked at me. She's like, it's like you need to whoop his behind. Stop being all nice and like, Timmy, you're making me mad. And black people do that too now. It's not just white people no more. It's black people like, I just don't want to whoop them. Denzel, you're making me mad. Y'all done picked up some white people's habits. Go read your Bible, and you'll snap right back into reality when how the Father treated us. Did the Father just keep talking to us? No. He sent the sword after you. He sent fire after you. He burnt down your home that he built for you. He went ahead and did what else? So he cut you. He literally gutted the moms, babies out of their stomach, heads coming to the ground. Then he set your place on fire. Then he caused some of y'all to starve. Then he sent some incurable diseases upon you to be killed. Then he sent wildebeest to kill you, to eat you, to eat your dead corpse, and birds to actually feed on your body. Yep, that sounds like timeout to me. Yep. Sound like straight up timeout. But I wouldn't have it no other way. I would want the Father to do that to us again if we don't listen. If we don't listen, I would want the Father to send the sword after us. I would want the Father to send fire after us. I want the Father to send wild animals after us to kill us. I would want the Father to send birds after us to eat on our decayed corpse. I would want the Father to actually have us destroyed before his face with a big old smile on his face. Like, now they're gonna listen. Too bad they're dead, but they're gonna listen now. That's exactly what I want the Father to do to us if we don't listen to him again. And I mean that with everything on the inside of it, because we just think we know everything. And that the Father has said some things, and those things need to be done. Because if not, then he needs to do to us what he did to Jerusalem again. We just need to go ahead and speak until we get the point. And that's my whole heart. Part of Psalm's heart is for us to be destroyed without remedy if we don't listen again. And we can do this with a new people, new set of people, because we're not going to be going back hard-headed. We can't go back the same way we left. If that spirit is still on us, then we need to keep dying until we get the point. And I'm so serious. So that came up for me. All right, so now to show you where the Father is, before we get up out of here, that came out. So then you know. All right, now is the Father sending a new David or the same David? Let's look at some things real quick. All right. So in Acts chapter 2, Bible Hub, this will show us some things, right? Right. And we need to just take everything is what it's saying. Now, for David speaking concerning him, I foresaw. What does it mean foresaw? Like something was foretold. Like foreknew. Meaning beforehand. Right? Foresee. Predict. Forecast. Expect. Envision. So he saw him for it. And foreknow. Divine. Prophesy. Season. Foretell. Foresee.
Proceed.
All right. So Daniel says that he foresaw the Messiah. So he saw him beforehand. For David speaking concerning him, I foresaw the only begotten Son of Yahweh. Always before my face. So he always had a vision of the Messiah always before his face. Why? Because he is on my right hand. For he is on my right hand, that I should not be moved. So the Father allowed him to see the Son at all times, because the Messiah was always on his right hand. So if David sees the Messiah, who is always before his face, for he is on my right hand. Now watch this. I was going to tie in perfect. Zechariah 4. Let's see what this word says.
I went once.
Bible Hub. Vision of the lampstand and two olive trees. What's this? Let's go ahead. See what it says. The wording that it says. Then I answered and said unto him, what are these two olive trees upon the right side of the candlestick and upon the left side thereof? And I answered again and said unto him, what be these two olive branches which through the two golden pipes empty the golden oil out of themselves? And he answered me and said, knowest thou not what these be? And I said, no, my Lord. Then he said, these are the two anointed ones that stand by what? The Messiah of the whole earth. Wait a minute, say what? These are the two anointed ones that stand by the Messiah of the whole earth. Now, David just said out of his mouth that David foresaw the Messiah always before his face. Why? Because he's on his right hand. So that means he's always on his right hand. David concerning him foresaw the Messiah because he's always on his right hand. So the Messiah is always on David's right hand, that he should not be moved. Meaning what? This place cannot be given away. Now let's see if we can find that in scripture of showing how concrete this position is. Our position, where we're going to is now Matthew 20. It was like, oh my goodness, this is meat right here, bro. We eat. Put some stuff together, right? I just hear it, so I'm just going. Let's go. You will see the context of it. Be like, wow, dude, our poor child eating pastor didn't say nothing like that. Here we go. All right. A mother's request. Then came to him the mother of Zebedee's children with her sons, worshiping him and desiring a certain thing of him. She fled to ask for David to be removed. And she said unto her, what wilt thou? She said unto him, grant that these my two sons sit, the one on thy right hand and the other on the left in thy kingdom. What is she asking for? Zechariah. Whether he's out that sits on the right hand, the right side of the candlestick, and upon the left side thereof. So the candlestick would be what? The Messiah. And I answered and said unto him, these are the two anointed ones that stand. If they're anointed, mean they have to be what? Poured over with oil. Now, ooh, thank you, Father. That could not be no one in the modern day. Why? Because it's at the time you won't have enough anointing, you won't have enough olive to anoint yourself. So the two anointed ones cannot be from the time of Jerusalem being besieged or even up until now. They would have to be from back then when they were actually doing the anointing. All right, let's move on. Shall we? All right, it says the anointed ones that stand by him, right? So let's see this. You won't have enough olives to anoint yourselves. Look at this. The curse of disobedience. You will plant and cultivate vineyards, but you will not drink the wine or gather the grapes, because worms will eat them. That's locusts, right? You'll have some peasants, some families. You will have olive trees throughout your territory, but will never anoint yourself with oil, because the olives will drop off. So, during the time of the curses coming upon you, the two witnesses or the two anointed ones cannot be chosen at that time. They would already have been chosen. So this woman is asking for something that cannot be. At this time, you already been conquered. So therefore, what she is asking cannot be done. Because she's asking the Father to go against his word. Let's get it. Y'all know people was like, that was good. That was good, Father. Let's keep it. All right. All right. So Deuteronomy, we done got that part. So let's go on over to Matthew. Finishing up. Zebedee's children with her sons, worshiping him and desiring a certain thing of him. So she think worshiping him like, okay, I can get whatever I want because I'm gonna worship him. Look what she's doing. She's worshiping him. And he gonna ask like, all right, what do you want? Then he said unto her, what will thou? Meaning what? What do you want? Because you done came over here and worship me and everything like that. What do you need? She said to him, grant that these my two sons may sit, the one on thy right hand and the other on thy left in thy kingdom. Remember, David can't be moved, right? We'll see this. But the Messiah answered and said, you know not what you ask. Like, you don't even know what you're asking. Are you able to drink of the cup that I shall drink of? And to be baptized with the baptism I'm able to be baptized with? They said to him, we are able. And he said unto them, you shall drink indeed of my cup, be baptized with the baptism that I have baptized with. But to sit on my right hand and on my left is not mine to give, but it shall be given to them for whom it is prepared of my Father. Meaning what? Can I be moved? Now the Father has also said that David shall not be moved. He shall not be moved. So now we see Zechariah says, it will not be moved. Now watch this. Revelation. It's going to have the same exact wording here. Again, as we see in Zechariah chapter 4, we'll see the whole thing play out before us. Now we will be able to pinpoint who exactly one of the witnesses are just by scripture alone. So unless you have this, it can't be you. Let's go. King James. Boom, boom, boom. All right. All right. So at the time of the temple left out measure out for is given unto the Gentiles. What? Until the time of the Gentiles, right? And the holy city shall be tread on the foot according to amounts. What? This will be at the end of the time of the Gentiles. But they ain't gonna be there forever, right? And I will give power to my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the 2 olive trees, 2 candlesticks standing before what? The Messiah of the earth. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceeds out of their mouth. So David now will have fire in his mouth to speak. David's already said, look, I foresaw the Messiah always before my face, for he's on my right hand. What? That I shall not be moved. His position cannot be given away. So when the Messiah says to her, it's like, look, I can't give that position away. It's not mine to give away, but it shall be given to them who is prepared. So we see already one of these witnesses is David. Because David has already said out of his mouth that he's always on, that the Messiah is always on his right hand. So that means that David is on the Messiah's left. So David is on the left of the Messiah. Because the Messiah is on his right hand, that he should not be moved. So Zechariah, what are the 2 other trees? One on the right side and upon the left side of it. This is David. She's asking for David's position in another person's position. And we see it now, clearly. The same thing that's going on in Zechariah chapter 4 is going on in Revelation chapter 11. We're just tying in with Matthew 11. Just tying in also with Deuteronomy chapter 28. It ties in with Acts chapter 2. We got like a couple witnesses here showing this off. So now, Messiah or the Father says, I will give David. David is going to be despised and abhorred by his own nation. But he is the king of all kings, because he was the very first king before there ever was a king truly for the Greeks. The Greeks didn't have they was not towering. Our people was the superpower of the earth. So therefore, Alexander, Nebuchadnezzar, all of them will get their power from Judah. And since Judah came from David, David is the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, or Master of Masters. That's why it says kings will seek and rise. Why? Giving you honor. And princes will bow down. Because why? The Father who is faithful and the Holy One, Israel, has chosen her. The Father is going to give David glory as he did before. And those who cannot see that are blind. And the Father has made you blind for your own detriment. Period. So yes, King. I remember those times. Excited. All right, so we can see something. I can see that right now. Watch this. Father's like, don't lose track. Don't lose. It's like, all right. So let's go back to Acts 2. I foresaw Yah always before my face, for he's on my right hand that I should not be moved. Now, in 2007, when Father told me to have the logo built or put together, the man, who is a white man, would not know anything of the Father. He would not know anything, nothing at all. But let me show you something. So we're gonna first bring out alright. So let me show you when this was done. So you can see, like, wait a minute, when was this done? So it wouldn't be done like now. This would be done in our time now. It'll be done like it's gonna show you the year when it was done. Darn it. Thank God. Right there. You can see it.
And like it all stemmed from so when we haven't
You can see that right there, right?
one part, no.
It says when. When was this logo created? November
Yeah.
2nd, 2007. And I had them make the red logo part on the 12th, 2007. But all this has all been done
Yeah.
on
No,
in November, right? So the logo is being created in November.
Exactly.
So that means my dream would have been taking place in roughly like October, because it took them a little bit of time for them to get this together. I wouldn't be surprised if this took place around Passover. I wouldn't be surprised. Because look, November 2nd, 2007. It would take him about 3 weeks to start coming up with, start seeing it right here, the 12th, right? So when I would have the dream, you see what I'm saying? Around that time. All right, so let's get into this. Let's open this up. You can see the original. And we're going to look at this in the originality of everything. Now remember, nothing has been doctored up or anything. See it? I'm opening it up right before your face. See it? I'm opening it up right before you. We're opening it up right before you. Right? It's on a disc, right? See it? Now we're going to look at this image. Remember, the Father said in 2010 that this is a family portrait of me and him. Wherever he is, I'm there. Wherever I am, he is there. Right? So let's look at this. Whenever it decides to open up, it's pending. Okay. It's coming. You are sharing, your screen sharing. Okay, cool. All right. See it? I see this? All right. Now, Let's do something. We're going, I open this up. This is what he did, all right? I'm trying to make it bigger so y'all can see this, right? But it blows some people's minds. Those who don't believe, oh, you better believe now. The Father is doing what he did. All right, cool. How do I make this? You can make this bigger. Zoom. Check, edit. That'll be okay. Where is zoom in? Oh, all right. Zoom in. All right. Now, look at right here. This would be the thumb. That would be the other thumb. So if that is the thumb, that means this head is the back of the head because the eyes is facing forward. Meaning this right here would be the right hand, making this the Messiah. That's why it goes right into the Messiah's name. Now, David said that the Messiah, he foresees him all the time. He's forever before his face. Now, looking, oh my goodness, I'm about to have some freaking goosebumps. Wow, dude, this is about to tie in perfectly with my testimony, October 7, 1987. Watch this. Now, October 7, I said what? That I saw the Messiah. And he said, it's time. Now, David said he foresaw the Messiah because he's always before his face, because he's on his right hand at all times, that he be not moved. This chain is to signify that he cannot be moved. And the Father said, this is a family portrait of me and him, that wherever I am, he is there, and wherever he is, I am there. This is the right hand. So literally this would be my right hand, who is connected to the Messiah, who will be connected to my right hand, which ties in perfectly with Acts chapter 2. David says that he foresaw the Messiah, meaning he saw him in a vision. October 7, 1987, I see the Messiah, and he comes to me and tells me it's time. But at this time, I have a different name. Woo! Man, this is fire. And then he walks away. He goes away, right? Andrew, it's time. And then he goes away. And I'm like, that's it? It's time? That's all you have for me? It's time? Now look how it matches perfectly with Acts chapter 2 with the testimony there saying that he always foresees the Messiah because he's always before his face and he's on his right hand. The Messiah is on his right hand, that he be not moved. Ouch. Who wants some? Who wants some? Who wants some of this? Like seriously, at this point, literally, and we got what? The 12 tribes tied to David. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Signifying he is the covenant being given to these people. What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Scripture fits perfectly. Now this would be also the one who actually is standing on the Messiah's left hand, which will also be in Zechariah chapter 4 and Revelation chapter 11 and Matthew 20 with the mother's request. 3 right there, witnesses. Actually a 4th one with Acts chapter 2 with the David saying, The Messiah is on his right hand, meaning that David is on his left, i.e., the witness of the earth in the last days, was also the king to reign over all of the Soleil land. So when he comes in a great cloud of glory, your redemption is drawing nigh. Share this video. Anybody got anything to say about that? Anybody can say anything against that? Anybody at this time? Anybody? I'll wait. In fact, I'll go ahead so we can see what your comments are right here on the share screen. Let's go there. Let's go. Any scriptures to actually go against that? Anything? Anything at this moment? Anything? Let's go look. Revelatory, wow, on the right hand. Right. It's crazy, right? Let's just wait for it. Let's wait for it. Anything? So now all these people have been put down. Why? Because it's my turn to reign. And anything that's going to try to interfere with what I got to do has got to be put away. Every and anyone. Anything? Anybody? So that means King David is it. Literally, in the flesh, right now at this moment. Done proved it. Like hands down proved it. Anybody to go against it? Anybody? Just saying. Who can speak against it? Who? Be smart about it now. We done proved some evidence. And it ties in with my October 7, 1997 vision. Look how it ties in perfectly with scripture. Just saying. Man, it feels so good. And I'm hungry at the same time.
Watch Law TV for the 85 plus top channels with YouTube TV. Try 2 weeks free.
Oh, for real?
So move up to the iconic style.
Shut up. Look at this. All this is taking place. All this got to take place before I come.
And I normally go have another appointment. On that, yeah.
Wow. So like I said, give to the king. All right. I hope the internet is back on my phone. I'm gonna have to play one of my songs so they don't try to take this whole video down. Cause you hear, them in the background playing their music the whole entire time I'm in this place where I'm at right now. And I know, trust me now. FBI, CIA, now they know without a shadow of a doubt, like, wait, that is now him. His show for the evidence of who he is now. Now, best believe they're gonna be watching without a shadow of a doubt. They're gonna be watching. I know there'll be earthquakes in diverse places, and I know they said there'll be floods. I'm looking for it. So he said he will not overflow the earth again. But why he would not destroy the earth with water again? But he said it would be floods. I remember it would be floods. There will be floods. There will be floods. Floods. New Testament. New Testament. If I don't find it here, I'll find it somewhere else. Father, that blue slide. Matthew 24. Yeah, right. That there's going to be so much pushback, but I keep telling all around me that what they've been believing all this time is false and fables of Christianity. King, I referenced these same images, attempting to point out to the distractors what is happening now around the world is not normal, and that is literally plays and destruction that are being executed by the Father. Exactly. So everyone in Goshen, in the Father name, not me. Messiah was telling the people that many people will be coming in his name, but the Father will be sending one who is connected to him at all times. And so therefore he will be coming in his name. Here I am, coming in the Father's name, in the Father's name, not me myself. Abomination of desolation is the churches that's built up in the land. Understand? And they're going to be start to killing a whole bunch of people. Look at this. Look what it says, the return of the Son of Man. Look. Now watch this. So then there shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should be no flesh saved. What is it? It says, look, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be short. Meaning what? What is he saying? I will not put a complete end to you. So the times of when it was over killing you and murdering you with no regard, it's going to be so many deaths taking place in one day. She says that if I don't shorten these days, they're going to kill all of y'all. But the Father put an end to it. At least there'll be no flesh, meaning you. He's not talking about the people. He's talking about you. At least there'll be no flesh. Nobody left standing of the 12 tribes. So he left a small remnant alive to reproduce for the rest of us. that has already taken place and still taking place, right? So this supposed to take place in the end times. So the book of Enoch was written for our times, which was the slave times. But we're now coming out of that time. So the book of Enoch is for destruction. The book of Enoch, the reason why we moved it out of the Bible, moved it out of everywhere else, because it talks about the demise of those who have done wrong to us. The book of Enoch is the book of judgment upon the earth. That's what it is. It's from the very beginning to tell you. This book is for the righteous, for the elect of the Father, which is us. And it's against the ones who have treated the elect wrong. It's against the party armed, the party clay. It's against the nations. It is literally the sealing of the doom, the sealing of the coffin for those who are wicked, those who are evil. It is literally the pronunciation or the will and testament of the dead. Meaning what? Those who don't know the Father, how they're going to die, what's coming to them. That's what the book of Enoch is. The book of Enoch is a book of celebratory for us, but it's a book of destruction for the nations. It's the end time book. Yeah. So we're gonna be reading or even playing the audio version of Enoch. Get it in your system. I believe this is more and more day by day, King, that you are sent by the Father. There has been no one that has so plainly revealed the scriptures and made plain prophecy. Man, tell me about it, right? I've been looking for them too myself. Like, is there anybody who knows this? Anybody? Best believe it's shocking to me, right? Every day it's shocking for me. I be like, dude, I'm him. Like, but look at this. It should give you all hope. The Father said, if you die in him, anyone who dies in him, the Messiah says, anyone who dies in him will not die, but have everlasting life. I lived before. Now I'm here again. In your modern time, already been anointed. Everything's already been given over to me. So that should give you hope that if you do what the Father say, do, and not lean to your own understanding. That's why I keep drawing that to your heads. I would not be here if I lean to my own understanding in everything. I wouldn't be here. By the time I lean to my own understanding, I got my butt whooped. If King David would get his butt whooped by the Father, what makes you think he was scared? Make that make sense, bro. Anybody. The one who's after his own heart. Look what he gave me, that heart of songs. Putting a mark on me. That's him. The man after my own heart. Heart of songs. Everyone knows I didn't name myself. He named me. They know that testimony. Even all of them know that testimony. How would I get the name Heart of Songs? Which ties in perfectly with a man after his own heart. David is a man after my own heart. What's his name? Heart of Songs. Which literally means King David. Go figure that, right? It's crazy. Don't even know, right? The Father gave me that name. 2008. Actually, July 31st, 2008. Coincidence? Oh, no coincidence. Straight up scripture. Oh, this one. So you always say your life is built. Yep. That's because it is. Huh? I mean, the book, son, you're all through that book. But now, we go to the visitors. Remember, since David can never be moved, and he foresaw the Messiah always for his face, that he's on his right hand, and he can never be moved. Let's go find out now one of the visitors who actually show up to go destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. Let's go do that real quick before we get up out here. Let's go blow some more minds. We already seen the scripture right here. Acts says, I'm on his right hand. What? That I should not be moved. So if he cannot be moved, that means whenever the Messiah moves, he moves too. And it's just like that. 3 visitors.
So I'm not
To Abraham. David would be amongst here because he can't be moved. Wherever he is, like the Messiah, the Father said to me, wherever I am, you're there. Wherever you are, I am there. And wherever the Father is, the Son is there too. Why? Because they came and made their abode to them. Remember, it says, like, I will manifest myself. Look, now that's a thing, Father, you doing something. I will manifest. It ties right into David's thing. I will manifest myself to him. That's David. Whoever has my commands, David will always say, I love the Father's commands. I love the Father's law. He says it. On that day, you will know that I'm in my Father and you are in me and I in you. Whoever has my commandments and keeps them is the one who loves me. The one who loves me will be loved by my Father. Do you know what David's name means? David means beloved. David means beloved. Which ties in perfect with scripture. Will be loved of my Father. Let's go. The one who loves me will be loved, beloved. Beloved, right there. David. The one who loves me will, David, beloved by my Father. Wow, it's right there. Are you serious? The whole entire time? Beloved. Beloved. David means beloved. David by my Father. The one. So David will love me and will be loved by my Father. And I will love David and will reveal myself to him. Acts chapter 2. Where David speaking concerning who? The Messiah. I foresaw the Messiah always before my face, for he is on my right hand that I should not be moved. Now, what's going to happen with David? He's talking about David right here. The promise of the Spirit resting upon David. And I will manifest myself to him. The Messiah is always before my face. He's on my right hand that I should not be moved. Now, what happens to David? Let's go. Let's go. All right. So he's not going to leave David comfortless. I will come to you. Yet a little while the world see me no more, but you see me because I live, and you shall live also. But I live, you shall live also. So David shall live also. At that day, that's powerful. I'm bringing you back to life, David. At that day, you shall know that I'm in my Father, and you in me. Wow. So at that day, you shall know that I, the Messiah, is in his Father. And David, you're in me. And I, the Messiah, will be in you. Son, this is a family portrait of me and you. Wherever you are, I am there. Wherever I am, you are there. At this time, you will know it. He, David, that have my commandments and keeps them, he it is that loves me. And David, that love me, shall be what? Loved of my Father. And I, the Messiah, will love him. And I will manifest myself to David, which ties in with Acts chapter 2. For David speaks concerning my foresaw Yah, always before my face, for he is on my right hand, that I should not be moved. That's a promise. Judas said unto him, not Iscariot, Messiah, how is it that you will manifest yourself unto us and not unto the world. So he's speaking of two things at one time. Remember, it says, I have other sheep that I must bring along. So he's not just talking to them, he's talking to us. The Messiah answered and said unto him, if a man love me, he will keep my words. David did that. And my Father will love him. And we will come unto David and make our abode with David. Wow. So David becomes their new home, which ties in perfectly with Zechariah. What be these two other branches which do the gold, two golden pipes empty the golden oil of themselves? And he answered to me, know not what these be. And I said, no, my Lord. And he said, these are the two anointed ones that stand by the Messiah of the whole earth. I foresaw the Messiah all before my face, where he's on my right hand, that I should not be moved, meaning he is always standing. Now, what again does that image look like again? Let me go look at that image that the Father had created. He is standing before the Messiah of the whole earth, who is on his right hand, meaning he's on his left. Now, since now we got that down pat, let's go back into Abraham. With that being set in stone, that David is there. Now let's go to Genesis. 3 visitors. Let's go to King James. Absolutely. Is this making sense to people? Are y'all getting this? I know people was like, mind is blown, like, wait a minute, it really is him, huh? It's really him, yeah. It's really, it's crazy. Hello, everybody. I know y'all read about me in the books and everything. Hey, Father's true to his word. If he said it, he will do it. So when he said don't lean to your own understanding, he means exactly that. Or you can lean to your own understanding and see how it works out for you. It's never planned out for us, but you keep trying if you want to. Thinking you know more than he knows because you can read a book. So, yeah, not you. She heard it. Just saying. She heard it. Can y'all hear me? Just saying. She heard it. My words sound fun. I didn't say nothing. Yeah, see, the audio was speaking something else. It must be speaking through my. Where's the microphone from?
And by 9 o'clock, like, I was trying to oh my guys. Like, I'm just.
That's well, so that's it.
I remember my kid. My friend. Listen, makes fun of me. Whenever I came in, we always get in like these conversations like for the street.
So 2 apps is
And I'm like,
I wonder what they are.
I told you
Camera, speech.
She does second term stuff, right? So she'll be there early morning.
Y'all hear me better?
She probably
Y'all hear me better? I guess when I put on the music, I'll just put it back on. Can y'all hear me better? I heard some say yes.
I know, right?
Wasabi family.
Yeah, I can talk to you.
Alright. Someone says that a deadline for Gambit.
So now I'm gonna walk up.
Alright. Feels good to be back though, and say that much. Alright,
That's okay. That's okay.
so let's get to it. Alright, I really want that to work. Oh, I know what I need to do. I know what I need to do. I don't want that music to be in the background like that.
Sometimes I just.
There we go.
Somebody know, like, something about that, so I'm.
There.
Oh.
Audio. Good. All right. Yeah, exactly. All right, that makes sense. Good. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2. Press play.
That used to be very good. I'm going to all right here,
All
right?
right, testing. All right, testing 1, 2, 3. Microphone ahead. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me good? Let me unmute myself on here. Y'all hear? Can y'all hear me? All right, y'all can hear me good now. Can y'all hear me good? Let me unmute myself. All right, there we go. On here. Y'all hear? Can y'all hear me? All right, y'all can hear me good now. Can y'all hear me good? Let me unmute. All right, I can hear it now. All right. Good. All right, now we can do something. It said this totally turns all the falsehood, the lies, and the myths of Christianity on their head. So much deprogrammed to do, and a lot of BS to help in the spiritual trash bin. Exactly. All right. So, for those who didn't probably hear me, let me go through a whole synopsis. All right. Like I was showing. Boom. All right. For those who couldn't hear. For David speaking concerning me, I foresaw Yah always before my face, for he's on my right hand that I should not be moved. All right. So David said that. So we have to be was it a real David that's going to be doing this, or going to be just anybody? This right here is a thumb. That right there is a thumb. This is the back of the head, so the eyes is facing forward, making this the right hand. Meaning what? This blood right here signifying what? The Messiah is to the right hand of this person. So this person has to be none other than David. And has the 12 tribes connected to him. Signifying, and the Messiah, and the Father says that wherever you are, he said, this is me, that the Father's there. And wherever I am, the Father's there. So, I'm always with him. And then we got the scriptures to back that up. Right here. I foresaw the Messiah always before my face, for he's on my right hand, that I should not be moved. Never moved. I've always been by the Messiah. So that from the very beginning of time, I've always been there. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm about to stop right now. Just about to stop. Let it stop. Let it stop. Let it stop. Let it stop. That's why he doesn't say, because the Father never says whether two or three are gathered together in my name, there you are in the midst. He doesn't say that to me. He always says that, son, that wherever I am, you're there. Wherever you are, I'm there. He doesn't say, son, wherever two or three are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst. It's wherever I'm at, the Father's there. So the Father's right here on this live, period. So that's why we don't have to say Siami, because Siami means, is the Father amongst you? Is the Holy Spirit amongst you? Yes. Wherever I'm in a conversation, he's there. All right. David means beloved. John talks about what? Beloved. All right. I will not leave you comfortless. I will come to you, right? Yet a little while in the world seeth me no more. We already did this part. He that have my commandments. So he's talking about David. And keepeth them, he that loveth me, and he that loveth me shall be loved, beloved of my Father. So David shall be loved of my Father. And I will love David too, and will manifest myself to him. Now, what does that tie into? October 7th, 1997. What happened? I saw the Messiah. He said, Andrew, it's time. Which ties in perfectly with Acts chapter 2. And ties in perfectly with John, where the Messiah says, I will manifest myself to the one who loves me. Not will love me, but who loves me. Meaning it's already been proven that I love him. That's why I've been given that specific seat on his left side forever. Period. That's why I've already been sealed. I can't be unsealed. I'm forever in the kingdom. Period. Put that in your pipe and smoke. Man, I love this show. All right, let's go. Will be loved of my Father, David of my Father, and I will love David and will manifest myself to David. Woo. Now watch this. Now, Judas, not Iscariot, asks, how is it that you will manifest yourself unto us and not unto the world? Now remember, the Messiah is speaking not just to them, but he's speaking to us too as well. The Messiah answered and said unto him, if a man love me, he will keep my words, and my Father will love him, and we will come unto David and make our abode with David, which ties in perfectly with what? That I for always see the Messiah. He's on my right hand, that I should not be moved, which ties in with Zechariah chapter 4, the two olive trees, right? So he will be the one on the left side. That's David, right? So it will be, blessed is he who comes in the name of Yah, which will be what? David. David will be given honor. He will be given glory before the Messiah comes. Oh, this is so good. So, yeah, man. Now, Genesis. All right, here we go. Look what it calls. Son, you are atmosphere brought into the flesh, right? Abraham's celestial visitors. Notice they call them celestials, people who are not from this world. And Yah appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the tent of the door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. Remember, one of these people, there's 2 of these people who already know who the identification is. We know it's the Messiah, and we know it's David. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door and bowed himself toward the ground and said, my Lord, or my Messiah, or my Master, if now I have found favor in your sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from your servant. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves. Not self, selves. All 3 of you, rest down under the tree. and I will fetch a morsel of bread and comfort ye your hearts. After that, you shall pass on. Meaning what? You go on, do what you're going to do afterwards. But come here and feast with me. For therefore are you come to your servant. I mean, you came here to eat. You came to Abraham's, barbecue shack. Chicken barbecue. He about to make some barbecue, right? You know what I'm saying? And they watch this. And they said, not he. And they said. So I was up here. I want to eat too. Like, hey, look, hey, go on do that. Go on do what you say you're gonna do. And they said, so do as thou hast said. And Abraham hastened into the tent unto Sarah and said, make ready quickly 1 meal, 3 measures of fine meal, netted and make cakes upon the hearth. And Abraham ran unto the herd and fetched a calf tender and good, and gave it unto a young man, and he hastened to dress it. And he took butter and milk and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them, and he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. Now watch this. We gotta look at some things. Father said, like, you're on here, so you need to go there and show. All right. Now, we gotta see, when can the Father be found? Where the Father is, the Son's going to be there too. All right. Seek him while he may be found. Now, seek the Father while he may be found. Call upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return to, meaning, look at this, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, meaning what? Stop leaning to your own understanding, because it makes you wicked. And let him return unto Yah, and he will have mercy upon him, and to Yah, or El Shaddai, for he will abundantly pardon. Now, if the Messiah is showing himself to Abraham, that means it's at a time when he may be found. The time we know that the Father can be found is at really at 2 times: Sabbaths and feast days. So the Messiah and David and the other witness are showing up at a feast day or either a Sabbath. But the fact that they're eating a calf lets me know this might be like a feast. Because then when they go to see Lot, there's another feast that kicks off in the same day. So it's a feast day. Let's go. All right. Now watch this. And the promises are taking place when? On a feast day. And they said unto him, where is Sarah, your wife? And he said unto her, behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto you according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah, thy wife, shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, after I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also? No, she called Abraham Lord. And El Shaddai said unto Abraham, who is what? The Messiah. Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, shall I of a surety bear a child which am old? Is anything too hard for the Messiah or for Yah? At that time appointed, I will return unto you, according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laughed not, for she was afraid. And he said, nay, but you did laugh. Why? Because Isaac literally means laughter. And so at the time when he said you're going to have a child, she immediately received it. Now watch this. And the men rose up from thence and looked towards Sodom. And Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. And the Messiah said, shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do? Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation. The Father does nothing on the earth. Why? Without what? First revealing it to his servants, the prophets. What it says? What does it say? And the Messiah said, shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do, meaning I cannot do this thing without first telling you. Surely will do nothing. That ties in perfectly with the scriptures of Amos chapter 3. Surely El Shaddai will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. Let's go back. Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. For I know him. For I what? For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of Yah to do justice and judgment, that Messiah may bring upon Abraham that which he has spoken of him. And the Messiah said, because of the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it which is come unto me. And if not, I will know. Now watch this. And the men turned their faces from thence. They turned their faces from Abraham and did what? And went towards Sodom. So David is heading towards Sodom. But Abraham stood yet before what? The Messiah. So Yeshaya right here is still standing there talking to Abraham. And Abraham drew near and said, what? It ties in with what? Who would dare approach me without him being invited? So now Abraham has been invited to do what? To intercede. I will invite him. For who would dare on his own what? Approach me. Their leader will be one of their own, right? So Abraham is a leader. And I will bring him there, and he will approach me. For who would dare on his own approach me, declares Yah. So Father invites leaders to come to him, right? The ones he's chosen. So and Abraham drew near and said, will thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? He's pleading on their behalf. The same way that the king would be able to plead for Yisrael, all of them, right? Peradventure there be 50 righteous within the city. Will thou also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein? That be, he said, that be far from thee to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as wicked, that be far from thee. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? And the Messiah said, if I find in Sodom 50 righteous within a city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes. Can you imagine? Watch this now. Since this has been set as 50 being found righteous, to spare it. That means in Jerusalem, we didn't have 50 righteous. We didn't have 10 righteous at all, because it's going to get to the last part of being 10. That means we were so wicked. We didn't even have 10 righteous people in all of Jerusalem to spare it. The Father doesn't change. If he had to find 10 righteous in Sodom, he would have spared it. He didn't find 10, so he destroyed it. The same thing he did to Sodom, he said we've been left unto Sodom and as unto Gomorrah. Why? Because there was not even 10 right. So we have no right to gloat over the nations. We were even, if not worse. Let's go. And Abraham answered and said, but now I have taken upon me to speak unto Yah, which I am but dust and ashes. Peradventure there shall lack 5 of the 50 righteous. Meaning if there's 45, there's not even 45 righteous of Jerusalem. Will thou destroy all the city for the lack of 5? And he said, if I find there 40 and 5, I will not destroy it. So if the Father's not going to destroy this Sodom and Gomorrah, which is really has nothing to do with him, why in the world would he destroy Jerusalem if he had 45 righteous in it? That means we didn't have 45 people righteous in our place either. And he spake unto him again, yet again, and said, peradventure, there shall be 40 found there. And he said, I shall not do it for the 40's sake. And he said unto him, Oh, let not the Messiah be angry, and I will speak. Peradventure, there shall be 30 be found there. And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. And he said, Behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto Yeshua. Peradventure, there shall be 20 found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 20's sake. I mean, we didn't have 20 people. And he said, Oh, let not the Messiah be angry, and I will speak yet but this once. Peradventure, 10 shall be found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 10's sake. So that means the Father will not destroy Jerusalem for the 10 people's sake. That means the Father couldn't find 10 people righteous in Jerusalem or in our land. And the Messiah went his way as soon as he left communing with Abraham, and Abraham returned into his place. So now what's happening? David and the other witness are going down to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. It will only be fitting, because we already seen the Messiah already at the legs of Arn, which will be Rome, for David and the other witness to show up at the feet of Rome to destroy it. We're at the point where it destroyed. That's why it says, Blessed is he who comes in my name. David was the one who destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. So now David will be the one to come back and destroy the rest of the Rome kingdoms. It's only fitting. It makes sense. It's balance. If the Father doesn't change, then the Father ain't going to change it. We see now that David was the one who destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. So now it will be David who will come back and destroy the nations. All right, so they're getting ready to close up in here. Y'all been having some, is this good food? Was it good for y'all? Did this make sense? Am I making things up? Or am I showing things from the scriptures verbatim, and we're actually putting together in the right, we're balancing everything out. Everything has been done in what? Rightly dividing the word of truth. No one's trying to make anything better or anything like that. We're just saying what we see based off of scriptures. And we ought to lean to our own understanding in anything. The scriptures is telling us exactly who is what. Do y'all agree? Someone said much better. Yes. Someone said good food. Scripture all day. Keep teaching us, King. All praises, family. The king gotta go. Like, I got to go. Yeah. Well, we're gonna go ahead and sign off right here. Hold on. Someone said, wow, King, that is disheartening and sad that our ancestors were that wicked that Father Yah had to overthrow the city. Exactly. So now, what should we be doing now? Should we be leaning to our own understanding, which got us destroyed the first time? Or should we now be totally wholly sold out to the Father's word? I'm an atmosphere brought in the flesh, thoroughly brought back to lead the children back to him. I was with him at the beginning of the foundation of the earth then. So at the same time the Messiah was there, I had to be there too. Because I'm always standing before him. So I've always been with the Father. Always. Yeah. My place cannot be taken either. I love it. I'm now the house of the Father, the ark of the covenant, the door, the doorkeeper. I'm getting hungry though. For real, I'm getting hungry. I'm getting so hungry. So I know at the last minute and everything like that, y'all can hear me better, you know what I'm saying, on the microphone. That sucked. I had to hear that it probably was going through the camera audio versus this right here. So and it was just pouring out. Like I don't want to even retake that because that was not rehearsed or anything. Nothing is ever rehearsed. It's always just the Father just flowing. You can see like the golden oil flows out of them. Why? Because I'm connected to the Messiah. He's always on my right hand, period. And I'm always on his left hand, period. As the scriptures say. So, remember, truth is not biased. It's absolute. King out. What is that and that? Alright. Okay, you about to die. Okay, go ahead. I know you got it. I know you're trying to get up out of here, y'all. You're welcome. Give. Yeah, definitely. All right, let's get out of here. Let's see. There we go, right there. There we go. Kusabi family, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, so we are here at Truth Colors today, and today I blew my brother Yasha's mind, by telling him something that he didn't even know about, You see, the Father works in amazing ways. Yasha has had, see the background that I have right here? It has many colors. It's the Truth Colors background. So Yasha has had it since he started his YouTube channel. So me in the process of doing reading my stuff and all that, I've read about the coat of many colors. The father, all the patriarchs in the Bible used to have that coat. It goes down from Adam all the way till Joseph, and during the period of Joseph is when the coat kind of disappeared, but it was the coat of many colors. The same thing is what my brother Yasha here has, Truth Colors. So you guys need to know that where all the colors for the truth are is where the Father dwells. So this guy has the truth and it's the bomb. If you guys are still double-minded, it's for your own doom. Check him out. Always listen to his words. The Father says, you listen to what he tells you. You don't look at what he's doing. Listen to what he's telling you. If you follow the instructions, boom, you'll be saved. If you look at Adam and Eve, they didn't follow the instructions. the Father gave them the instructions, they went away from it. They did their own thing. They leaned onto their own understanding. But right now, He's speaking to all of us through Yasha. So we're supposed to listen to what Yasha is telling us. Truth colors. That's where the truth is. The way, the truth, and the lie. Yeah, my boy.
Appreciate it, fam. Appreciate it, fam. I do.
All right. You gonna cut it?
Yeah. All right, fam.
CME family, thank you for subscribing and supporting my Patreon channel, where the truth is not biased. It's absolute. I dedicate this channel through Nzambi Zulu to the awakening of my people and discovering who they truly are, to bring out information and revelation that they may not see anywhere else. And as we embark on this journey together, feel free to shop with us. OBYU, featuring our brand, Goshen Black. You can also purchase New Truth music from me, your boy Heart of Songs, aka Music, featuring Etana, Nzambi, JG the Messenger, and other great artists on CD Baby and iTunes. It's time to awaken to the truth and power. Aren't you tired of being lied to? Truth speaks. Truth awakens. Truth colors.
Other Psalms.
Revelations. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image, and receive his mark into his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Elohim, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever. And they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Satan cast into the lake of fire. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and they shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. The great white throne. And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before Elohim, and the books were open, and another book was open, which was in the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them. And they were judged, every man according to their works, and death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death, and whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. But I will tell you what will happen to cowards and to everyone who is unfaithful or dirty-minded or who murders or is sexually immoral or uses witchcraft or worships idols or tell lies. They will be thrown into that lake of fire and burning sulfur. This is the second